So 2021 turned out to be an amazing year of flying for me. Even though the weather in the UK was relatively poor compared to 2020, this is my nerdy flight log in Microsoft Excel, and as you can see I notched up over 172 hours, over 133 flights and a total distance of 4,000 miles. So let's not dwell on the nerdy stats and let's get into the top 10 flights of the year for me, starting at number 10. So after a long dark 2 months of no flying, this flight here was, I put this at number 10 because it was such a good feeling to get back up after lockdown number 3. So Boris said that recreation was allowed outdoors from the 8th of March, so I was straight down the airfield and went for a local flight. Didn't go far away, just stayed near the field and had a chat with friends and just had a little bimble around and really enjoyed it. So it was really great to get back up in the air again. So my plan is to spend a minute on each flight, so there should be 10 minutes of footage. If you want to see the full flights, there are links in the description. So at number 9, this is a flight I won't forget. Went out flying. The conditions were quite calm, even though there were some very tall cunims around. As you can see here, there's some lightning in the distance. So I'm flying towards the sunlight, and I looked over and just saw this lightning, so I was very wary. I did actually fly back to the airfield and stayed local, but I saw that storm cloud was moving through, so continued on my plan, and it turned out to be a really nice flight. Some of the light on this flight was great. Got some great photos. If you want to click on the photo album in the description, there's some really nice photos from this flight, some of my favourite ones of the year actually. So yeah, really enjoyed that one. So at number 8, an attempt was made to go to the pub. So this is about 10 days later after the lightning storm. Weather's a lot calmer. In fact, it was completely nil wind this day. So we had this idea to fly with George and Bixie in the helicopter and 4 paramotorists to go and land at a pub. There's an old disused airstrip. So we landed out and planned to walk over to the pub, which is behind that hedge. And then the landowner came over and said that the land had been sold and the new owner had put crop in there, so we had to unfortunately abandon our plans and leave. So unfortunately no pub this time. We did make the pub on a different flight, which is not in this series, so if you want to see that one, have a look through. So coming in at number 7 is the Misty balloon flight. So a Virgin balloon took off. It was very foggy actually. I looked out the window and I woke up in the morning. I was going to go flying and I just thought it's completely an unflyable day, but the sun actually burned off the fog quite quick. So Mark at the airfield said, get yourselves over here, the fog is clearing and there's a Virgin balloon getting ready to take off. So me and Ed went over and took off with this balloon, and it just looked absolutely spectacular. And as the day went on, the clouds were breaking up, so I managed to get above the clouds and flew over to Cambridge at about 5,000 feet and then came back, and the clouds are all broken up and they're all fluffy, so I had a little play around in those before coming back into Little Gransden for a landing. Yeah, really great flight. Really enjoyed that one. Number 6, this was an epic flight. Really enjoyed this one. Off on an adventure with Mr. Jackson. How you feeling, mate?
Tip top. Conditions are A-OK.
Let's do it. How much fuel are you taking? All of it?
Brim.
Cool. You can see the full flight in the link in the description, but the plan for this one is to fly from St Ives up to Rutland Water, passing some historical sites on the way, as you can see here. And then from Rutland Water is to go to Wingland Airfield in Lincolnshire. Halfway to Wingland we knew we'd run out of fuel, so we plotted a few fuel locations and we decided on a BP garage, which you can see here. So here we are coming in after our first leg for a fuel stop. Unfortunately the GoPro died on leg 2 from the BP garage to Wingland, so I can't show you that. So after Wingland we then have a cup of tea over there have a chat to the guys at Wingland Airfield, get refreshed. We spend an hour or two just recuperating, because flying actually is quite tiring over long distances. So here we are at Wingland, just about to depart, and we go back to St Ives. So yeah, really great flight. So I think it was about 5.5 hours, maybe 6 hours flying this day. Really enjoyed it. Here he comes. Oh yeah. So coming in at number 5, we'll jump back to May. Had a flight from Justinsfield over in Norfolk Broads near Acle. This was another great flight, although it took quite some time to get off the ground actually. There was a lot of rotor coming across the field, so I think it's about 5 attempts to get up. But once I was up, it was great. Managed to get above the clouds again, my favourite thing. And stayed about 1,500 feet, so I'm quite close to Norwich Airport here, so I'm mindful of not infringing their airspace. So just skimming across the top of the clouds, and quite a spectacular flight over to Great Yarmouth. And then I drop down and do some low flying on the beach, which was really good fun. So as the sun was setting, I couldn't resist getting above the clouds and having a really spectacular journey back to the airfield. So quality flight, really enjoyed it. So coming in at number 4 was another great flight in July, so middle of summer, very hot day, and it's about 29-30 degrees C on the ground. So flew from Guildford all the way down to the south coast of England near Littlehampton. Flew along the beach there with Tim, you can see there, and then flew back. So it was a really fabulous flight. I really enjoyed that one. So this airfield here has some history. Recommend you look at the original flight. There's a link in the description to learn more about that. It's a fascinating place. And we continued down over this old castle here near Arundel, and then down to Littlehampton. The plan was to keep flying along the coast to Bognor Regis, but we kind of realised we wouldn't have enough light or maybe fuel, so we decided to fly back. I've cut most of this out for this video, but if you want to see the full flight, check the link in the description. So we made it back for 30 minutes after sunset, which is the legal time we're allowed to fly. Number 3 has got to be the funniest flight of the year. Check this out.
I'll be ready in 2 minutes. You're not hanging about for me?
Yeah.
I'll be ready in like...
If you're 2 minutes.
I'll be 5.
I might be able to wait that long.
5 minutes.
15.
So me and George headed off to Cambridge, flew over Grantchester Meadows. People are out of lockdown now, so they're desperate to get out and have barbecues and so on a nice hot summer's day. So flew along there, waved down to everyone, and then we flew back over Cambridge. And then on the way back, George actually descended down and picked up some hay from the field and tried to drop it on Bigsy. Failed, and then ended up making him do a turtle. It's really funny.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Oh.
We have a turtle! We have a turtle!
He told! He told! He told! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle! Hold on, we got another one coming in! Incoming! Turtle! And... oh, is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? Yo!
So at number 2 is the awesome PMC Autumn Fly-In.
Is it me or is that wind dropping?
Hey, selfie mode. This video.
Oh, is it? I'll come and hold it.
So on day one, I forgot to turn my GoPro on, unfortunately, but I had a really great flight above the clouds. Got up to 7,000 feet. This is the fire pit, so every evening everyone gathers around and talks paramotoring stuff. So I had 3 days of awesome adventures. Did about 7 hours of flying in total over 3 days. So loads and loads of flying, fantastic weather, some great people, and just had a really, really great time. Yeah, really good. So this is Gary taking off on his trike on a Hadron 3 twitchy wing. So I recommend you look at the original footage in my video history. That was quite a tricky launch, but Gary pulled it off. So the plan for this flight is to do a bit of low flying here and then fly along the Malverns. As we're flying over, I saw this plane. It saw us at the last minute and then kind of dove down underneath the 4 of us that were flying. So that was a bit of a close shave, a little bit of a scare. And then we flew along these hills here and went back down for a landing. Really, really great flight. So here we are, day 3, and again, the clouds and the weather is just fantastic. So got above the clouds, back over to the Malverns again. I then headed north and then over Worcester, and then came back down for a landing. There's Lee flying over the Malverns. So yeah, really, really awesome event. If you're thinking of going next year, I heartily recommend it. It's a fantastic event.
Oh yeah.
So at number 1 is an amazing flight. I really, really remember this one because it was one of the first flights I've had at sunset, and to get truly above the clouds, 5,000 feet, just as the sun is setting, was truly spectacular. This flight stayed with me for a long time, just kept thinking about it, and I actually just kept watching my GoPro footage over and over, which is kind of weird, but I just enjoyed it so much. Look at that sun. It was really, really good flight. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've actually got a couple of bonus clips. There are 2 runners-up flights I just wanted to include. I guess you could call them number 11 and number 12. The number 11 is the one where I ran out of fuel and actually somehow flukily managed to make it all the way back to the airfield and land exactly where I planned to land. So at this point the engine is out, and I was just really lucky to land where I did. And then this flight here was memorable because it's my first flight with some snow. There wasn't a lot of snow, but it was very cold, but really, really enjoyed it.
That was my coldest flight yet, I think.
So 2021 has definitely been the best paramotoring year ever for me. And if you want to see the full videos, then the links are in the description. And can't wait to see what 2022 brings. So Happy New Year to everyone, and hope to fly with you soon. Thanks for watching.